The 2025 Wellness Girls gift guide is here. Welcome back to Wellness Fixes the Pod. I'm your host, Dr. Kelsy Vick, a board-certified orthopedic doctor of physical therapy and a pelvic floor physical therapist. And this is one of my favorite episodes and blogs to write every year because it lets me pretend that I have all the money in the world to gift my friends, to gift my family, to gift all of those obsessed with health and wellness in my life. So I love putting on this hat of maximalism to think if I was gifting one of my health and wellness friends, or if I was the person that I was supposed to buy a gift for, what would I want? So it's a super fun episode for me, but I hope it also gives you guys ideas, and I'd love to hear different things that you guys love. These are some of my favorite videos to watch of other people because sometimes, and this year actually in particular, at the end, I'm going to go through some of my Christmas wish list or gifting wish list because a lot of the items on my list right now aren't necessarily health and wellness items, which is kind of shocking. But I think it just goes to show how some of these items I'd recommend I've had for decades and don't feel the need to replace. So I think that's really cool that we don't have to waste and buy health and wellness items every year, especially if the ones that we have, we love, and they're standing the test of time. So I thought that's pretty cool too. But I would love to hear what you guys are asking for Christmas or what's on your wish list because I love watching those videos. I love hearing what everyone's asking for because it also helps inspire my own wish list. So this list is a little more minimal than some of the previous years because I only want to put things on here that I wholeheartedly agree with, that's maybe a little bit more current, but it's my current list and it just is not as extensive as some of the other years. And I think that's great. So for stocking stuffers, this is actually the largest part of my list is stocking stuffers because I feel like there's some really great mini gifts to do for stocking stuffers. The first one is Neap Protein gels. And I've talked about these on social media before, but they are a protein gel, exactly what it sounds like. Female founded, 80 calories, 20 grams of protein per pack. And I get the variety pack, so there's 4 flavors, and I just love them. As someone who travels for physical therapy and goes to her patients' homes, they're wonderful on the go. I always had difficulty having a quick protein option. I don't use it as a meal replacement. It is a complete protein, but it's not necessarily a meal shake. I use it more as if I'm packing my lunch or snacks on the go, I bring it as my protein option. I also use it before or after a workout if I need a quick protein option. So Neap, N-E-A-P protein. I'll leave all of the links below, but I highly recommend, and I think they'd be such fun, cute stocking stuffers. They're colorful and I don't know, I just think they're fun and very useful. The next stocking stuffer I have is actually an upgraded version of something my aunt got us probably, I was in college, so a long time ago. It is the Safely Sidekick is what the device is called, the upgraded device, and it is a self-protection device for when you're on a walk or a run. When I am running solo, I always keep my head on a swivel, and this device has 5 things in one. It's got pepper spray, it's got a spike, it's got a flashlight, it's got an alarm, and depending on the state you live in, it also has a kind of a spiky grip. It's basically an all-in-one upgraded version of pepper spray and like a safety device. My aunt got us an alarm-based one back when I was in college, and it accidentally went off in my car. It was one where you have to pull, and the alarm accidentally went off in my car when I was getting to work at 6 a.m. And it was just the loudest alarm ever. And I crack up thinking about it. But at the time, my eyes were just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? What is that? And I was trying to figure out how to put it back in and shut off the alarm. But this Safely Sidekick, I was reminded of that because of this. And I think it's a great stocking stuffer, especially for girls going off to college or girls who are in big cities alone. I know I always felt a little bit safer. I've been followed, and I know that's not a unique experience. I know a lot of us women have been followed by certain people while we're on solo runs or solo walks or even walking home from class at UT. That's where mine happened. So he followed me in his car straight to where I lived, and I was super freaked out, called the police. It was a whole thing. But if I would have had the Safely Sidekick, I think I would have felt a little bit more protected. And after that, we ended up getting me a device. But at the time, the Safely Sidekick wasn't there. So I think it's a fun stocking stuffer, but especially for girls in college or girls in big cities, you might feel a little bit safer to have a flashlight or an alarm system. And pepper spray is great too, but to have an all-in-one device that you can just hold in your hand while you're running or walking, I think is great. The next stocking stuffer is actually a Rame toothpaste. And I think I heard from someone, I can't remember the creator, but you can find a great gift by looking at what the person has in their normal routine and just elevating it. My parents always would get us some sort of oral care in our stocking stuffers. It was usually a new electric toothbrush or toothpaste, floss, whatever. It was always some sort of oral care in our stocking. And a Rame toothpaste is the luxury version of that. So it has all the good ingredients in it. It helps to maintain the whiteness and brightness of your teeth. They have just the toothpaste. They have a double pack with the whitening maintenance. I forget what they call it, but it's basically, it doesn't whiten your teeth, but it helps to maintain the color of it. So I think this is just an awesome option for those of you guys who want to elevate a certain daily care part of your loved one's routine. This next stocking stuffer is one I have. I love the Ollie Rose Pilates socks. They're embroidered. There's cute little graphics on them. I think they are so fun. They're slightly expensive, but I think all Pilates socks are. And these ones are so cute. I wear them all the time. And I think it would be fun. Socks are a typical stocking stuffer, but again, these are just a little more elevated of a sock that she can use during her Pilates workouts or just wear around the house. And then the last stocking stuffer I have are something my sisters both got me on. They were jumping on the bandwagon for this way early on, and I was still sticking to my tried and true, but they are the slip silk hair ties. And I got these last year from one of my sisters as part of my Christmas gift, and they were incredible. They kept talking about them, hyping them up. And I used to be a diehard Teleties fan that looks like the phone cords, but ever since they got me the silk slip hair ties, I've been obsessed. I haven't had to buy any more, I don't think. They do expand, but I think they're worth it. I haven't had to buy any within a year. Like I've kept all of the same ones that I've had. So they're at least still going strong a year later, and I haven't had to buy any new ones, even though they do stretch out a little bit, but I can't tell you how much I was so wrong about sticking to my old hair ties. These ones are elite. They are the best. As far as exercise necessities goes, that's my next category. I think both of these were on my gift guide last year, which just goes to show how much longevity are in these items and how they will stand the test of time. But the first one is the Stakt mat. It's cushioned, foldable, multi-purpose yoga exercise mat, and I love it. I've brought it to a lot of my Sculpt classes, my hot Pilates classes. It's the best, especially if you have like tender elbows or tender knees or do a variety of workouts. It's not just for yoga. You can fold up the mat, and I'll use it to elevate my heels during heel elevated squats with a weight. Like I'll use it in a lot of different ways. So it is the perfect yoga mat. I actually have a code for that one below. I think it's 10% off of anything at Stakt, but if you use the link below, you can get that discount. The next one is anything with the Align material from Lululemon. This is my tried and true. It's pelvic floor PT approved because it's a little bit more of a flexible waistband. It doesn't necessarily cinch you in and cause unnecessary pressure on your pelvic floor. So I love that. I've also had patients who are pregnant tell me they work really well if you flip and wear like the butt part in the front and the front part in the back. They work really well during pregnancy because the back band and the back part is a little bit more like rounded. And so it is way comfy over a growing belly. So if you don't want to buy pregnancy leggings, these will also work. So that's another use case, I guess, that I definitely didn't know about, but I will be using when that time comes. But anything in the Align material, I just love it. I've had some for over a decade, and there's a little bit of pilling, but I will still choose them over and over again because they are so comfy and they just work for a lot of different types of workouts. I will say they're not great for the sweatiest of workouts. So high intensity interval training, I wouldn't use them for, but for lounge, for yoga, for Pilates, for just movement based ones, they are amazing. The next category is a little bit expensive, but devices, and there's only one, but one of my goals for the new year is to start taking better care of the largest organ in my body, which is my skin. I have a pretty good like facial care routine, but I do not do very well when it comes to the skin over the rest of my body. I want to be better about moisturizing and actually investing in products and devices that can help the rest of the skin on my body, not just on my face. So this is the Higher Dose Microcurrent Body Sculptor Rituals set from Higher Dose, and it's got red light and it also has microcurrent. I looked up the research on it. They both fall, the red light and the microcurrent fall within the ranges to help our skin. So I'm looking at that. It's an expensive device and I would love to be able to try it first to see, but it is definitely something that I am looking into as a potential to help with one of my New Year's goals of helping my overall full body skin health, the largest organ in my body, especially as I've gotten older and older. I've noticed that my skin heals a little bit slower than it did when I was in high school. So I would like to invest more into that part of my body. The next category being mindfulness things. And this one is a very fancy, very bougie leather bound notebook from Louisa Carmen. So I've seen it and I don't have one, but it'd be a wonderful gift, especially if you can get it monogrammed. That would be amazing. But I believe it's an Italian leather, maybe a French leather company that does leather bound notebooks, but you can exchange the notebooks in between. So it's really just a case around and they have different sizes, different colors of leather, and it just looks amazing. So you can have a gratitude journal, you can have a dream journal, a mindfulness journal all in one. You can have a planner. So it's just this beautiful way of consolidating a lot of different written things that you might have in your life. In the last wellness category, I have our memberships because I feel like memberships are expensive, especially for girls who might be in college or starting in a new city. Memberships are a great way to meet people. It's a great way to try out different studios in your area. So I think getting someone a membership to their favorite fitness studio, or if they're new to an area, getting them a ClassPass membership so that they can try out a lot of different studios. I think not only does it help them with their health and wellness, but it might also lead to new friendships, especially if they're in a new town for college or for post-grad life or beyond. I also think it's great for postpartum moms, especially who are trying to get back into their fitness routine. So it really is the gift that keeps on giving, not only in regards to the health and wellness, but also to possibly their eventual community and friends that they might meet outside of the fitness studio. A few of my recent favorites, I've joined ClassPass, so I love meeting people there and I love trying out different workouts and doing a variety of workouts around Austin. But my mother-in-law and father-in-law also mentioned this as a gift for my husband. And by the time this episode comes out, his birthday will have passed. So hopefully this won't ruin a Christmas gift. But they mentioned getting a gift card for him for his birthday to a paddle facility or padel facility here in Austin. We have been loving playing padel. I mentioned it a few episodes back that it's a very expensive sport to just do on your own. So they mentioned getting us a gift card there as a couple for his birthday just to enjoy with our other friends. And I thought that was a wonderful idea. So if he or she's not a fitness studio person or membership person, maybe if they're a pickleball person or a padel person or a bouldering, rock climbing person, getting them or a ski lift ticket. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. If your ski entire like epic pass was paid for, that would be incredible. But getting them basically a membership to whatever physical fitness activity that they enjoy. And then to end on this fun episode, just a few things on my own personal list, not necessarily health and wellness related. A lot of the things on my personal list, as I said in the beginning, aren't necessarily health and wellness related because a lot of the things that I have withstand the test of time and I don't necessarily need to re-up them, which I think is the sign of a really great gift. But a few things on my list just for inspiration for you guys. If you also don't know what to ask for, we have a few big trips coming up. We have gotten gifts before where our loved ones help us out with either a dinner on the trip, plane tickets, or a hotel stay. That is so appreciated. Those are probably some of my favorite gifts to receive because anytime we go on that trip and go to that dinner, I'm like, you know who gave us this? Your parents gave us this dinner. This is so wonderful to enjoy it. And I'm constantly reminded of it. I think the same thing can be said about honeymoons. I know some of our friends, we could buy dinner for them on their honeymoon as their wedding gift. And I think that's super awesome too. So just a few ideas, I guess, if you have travel coming up, I think anytime someone contributes to that travel experience in any way, it always reminds me of them as I'm going through the experience, which I think is super cool. I'm also just, of course, always building out my jewelry. And so the next classic item on my list is this beautiful diamond flexi bangle tennis bracelet. I love a bangle. It's one of my favorites. And this one's sort of a flexible diamond tennis bracelet bangle that I love. It's been on my list. So that is probably the next classic piece of jewelry that's on my list, but I'm really just trying to build out a classic jewelry set, and I need a watch, but I'm really just trying to not spend money on jewelry that I know I will eventually get rid of, but actually spend money and ask for pieces that are timeless. Another thing on my list, we moved neighborhoods back in July, and our neighborhood is very walkable. So there are a ton of coffee shops nearby, local wineries. So a gift card to any of those places, any of the restaurants near us or in our new neighborhood, I love that. We go there quite frequently. So any sort of gifting that meal or that coffee or an experience in some way, I love that. If you can't tell, I love experiences, but I think if you don't know what to get someone, getting them a gift card to a place that they frequent is a great idea. Anything embroidered or personalized. I'm thinking like thank you notes for like family thank you notes, towels, pillowcases, anything embroidered or anything that gives this like signature graphic or aesthetic of your home. I've seen people with like little bar napkins or little matchboxes that they've had personalized, and I think that's so cute. And lastly, a few of the things that I have been gifted that I've loved from either my husband or other loved ones and family members. My husband is so great about getting like little perfumes. I usually get like little mini travel size, and I think those are so great, especially for travel, but also to try out new perfumes if you don't necessarily have a go-to. I also love getting makeup bags. I feel like girls in general, like we go through makeup bags and they get dirty. And so my two recent favorites I got last year actually to re-up my makeup bag that I had for maybe a decade. So they made an item in my current routine a little more luxury last year, which I thought was an amazing idea. But I love the Stony Clover ones. My sister got me like 3 of those last year as like different sizes, and I have loved them. And then my mother-in-law and father-in-law got me one that is amazing for travel. It's called the Parallel one. And it basically, your products stand upright. And then when you get to a hotel, you just fold it down. And that's like your stand. So you're not constantly like digging through. All of your products are upright. I'll try and include like a link to it below, but I love it. And when we traveled to New York last year, they gave it to me as an early Christmas gift because we traveled to New York before Christmas. And with the tiny counters next to the sink, it was so great just to open it up and have all of my products there easy to access without having to like sift through and without it taking up an entire space in a drawer or all of the counters in the minimal counter space at the hotels we were staying at. A few of my other favorites have also been those travel pouches, like the clothing travel pouches. I feel like there's a better name for it, but I can't think of it. But the travel packs to go in your suitcase to organize your clothes, your socks, your intimates, like all of the different things that you bring in travel, having those like travel pouches, a massage, and then a weighted blanket. I love a weighted blanket. There was one year my husband got me 2 weighted blankets, and I always joke with him that I must have been really stressed that year if you got me like 25 pounds worth of weighted blankets. One was 10 and one was 15, but I just like laugh about that now. But I do love a weighted blanket. So those are a few, I guess, health and wellness ideas, but also just like gift ideas in general. Again, I love hearing what everyone else wants. So I hope you guys enjoyed this fun little girly casual episode, and I'll see you guys again on the next episode of Wellness Big Sis the Pod.